we have around us, like the settlement or Colonial Williamsburg, in that a larger part of what we do here is archaeology. So we're not basing what we know about Jamestown simply on written evidence. We're pulling stuff out of the ground to confirm or deny what they were writing 400 years ago. So we're a pretty unique park in that we're actually co-owned, so we are a public-private operation. Half of the park, or a larger section than half, is owned by the National Park Service. So for example, the stuff we're on right now, this is all Park Service property. They've been here since the 1930s. The section that we're going to focus on today, 22.5 acres, is owned by a private nonprofit group, Preservation Virginia. That's the group I work for, and they've owned their section of this property since 1893. So the two entities have been working together for quite some time to preserve the historical significance of this island. But I can tell you guys that if you had visited this park prior to 1994, which might have been difficult for you guys, you would have been bored out of your minds. We had nothing to show you. We had a bunch of fields just like this. Your tour with me would have lasted 10 minutes. I would have told you that all of Jamestown had eroded away into the river. When we get out there, you guys are going to see the James River at this portion of the river is huge. It's about 2.5 miles straight across. And we know that over time, erosion has eaten away large chunks of this particular island. We've lost about 300 feet of land. So everyone had always assumed that the English built their fort right up against the river, so over time, we've lost all remnants of it. But there were a group of archaeologists who started digging here in 1994, based on evidence that they were seeing around the site. We know in the 1860s, a group of Confederate soldiers who were here talked about digging up artifacts and seeing skeletons. We know that in 1893, the group I work for, Preservation Virginia, discovered a church foundation that dated back to 1617, and the Park Service had been discovering artifacts throughout the 1930s and into the 50s. So there's evidence of Jamestown everywhere, but we hadn't quite located the fort. The fort was kind of the most important site because that's really where Jamestown starts. But everybody thought, okay, well, we've got all this later stuff. That James Fort must have been a part of the land that's eroded away. But in 1994, that group of archaeologists led by a guy named Dr. Bill Kelso began digging, looking for the fort. They were actually given 10 years to, quote, see what you can find. Today in 2016, we are now in the 23rd field season of that 10-year project, meaning this is our 23rd year. We have uncovered 88% of James Fort, so we know a majority of it is still here on the island, and we've uncovered well over 2.5 million artifacts. So we've come quite a ways since 1994. Now guys, it's really important to remember that here on this site, history is always changing. So the tour you're getting today might not be the same tour that people will get a year from now. The artifacts that are coming out of the ground are constantly changing how we view Jamestown. So we always love to tell our groups, by the end of the tour, you guys will have the most up-to-date information about Jamestown. That could very well change with the next dig site that they're opening. So we're going to start this tour right where Dr. Kelso and his team put their shovels in the ground for the first time. We are actually pretty fortunate. They just opened up a site today, so they are currently working out there. We'll get to see a dig site that's starting, one that's in action, and then one they're backfilling as well. So you guys are going to get a good span of what's going on here in terms of our work. And then we'll wrap up the tour by looking at a lot of the artifacts that we've uncovered as well. So it's a little bit of a hike to get out there to this site. It's less than a quarter of a mile. It'll take us about 5 minutes to get there. Once we get there, though, guys, a lot of the groups today have already left, so we should have the whole site to ourselves. So we're going to go right this way.
This is exciting.